Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of, I guess what, sales tips in 90 seconds or less. Well, I haven't done sales tips in 90 seconds or less in a while. I just want to begin to discuss a few more sales tips. I've been doing quite a number of sales trainings lately for a number of small groups and house workshops. And I had a conversation with a young lady the other day about limiting beliefs. And so I really wanted to do a video today on limiting beliefs because part of what I tell my clients, or part of what I do, is I help my clients overcome some of the most crippling challenges that prevent the sales reps and the organizations from reaching peak sales performances. And there are a number of challenges that might get in the way. It can be a lack of information. It can be a lack of skill set. It can be a limiting belief. It can be lack of resources. There could be a number of things that could be preventing or getting in the way of them being successful. One such challenge is limiting beliefs. And so I wrote some thoughts down, and I want to kind of share those with you and see if these may be some thoughts that are limiting you in any capacity. But first, let's talk about what is a limiting belief. And I'll look this definition up. Limiting beliefs are those beliefs we have which constrains us in some way. Let me repeat that. A limiting belief are those beliefs we have which constrains us in some way, okay? Now let me give you some examples of beliefs that may be limiting you in terms of sales. And these are some beliefs, these are some thoughts that come up a number of times, pretty often in many of my one-on-one consultations or some of the sales training classes that I hold. One, I'm not good with closing. Two, I don't want to be a pushy salesperson. Three, I can never ask those types of questions. And this is in reference to, when you're in discovery conversation and you need to begin to ask some probing questions in order to get the pain identified from the prospect's perspective, and some way asking for the impact as well. The next one is it's too polite. It isn't polite to pry. If someone tells me no, then I don't feel comfortable probing to find out why it is a no. And so those are some of the limiting beliefs that we have, right? But what is the effect? The effect ultimately is that it hinders our ability to be truly successful in sales. So just think about this for a moment, right? And it is not my position to try to speak specifically about, cultural beliefs, religious beliefs, or any other types of beliefs that you may have. I'm just simply stating that there are times when the beliefs that we have, rightly or wrongly, hinders our ability to be successful in sales. And unless we acknowledge that, unless we find a way to mitigate it and or overcome it or replace it, then we will continue to find ourselves in a situation where those beliefs will prevent us from reaching our fullest potential. So what does it leave us? So I discussed what limiting beliefs are, the definition of a limiting belief, examples of limiting beliefs as it relates to sales, and thirdly, the effect that it has. The last point that I want to mention before I go off today is how should we address it? And there are really 3 to 4 points that I want to discuss. The first one is obviously you have to address it. If you are in denial that you have these limiting beliefs, it is impossible, virtually impossible for you to solve a problem if you first don't acknowledge that the problem exists. So you have to first acknowledge that you have some beliefs that are limiting your true potential. 2, you need to find a way to minimize or mitigate the effects that those limiting beliefs have. Now, you may never be able to completely eliminate that belief. If you are, an adult, you've been having this belief for so long, it is ingrained in your psyche, so it is going to be very difficult for you to be able to completely eliminate that belief. But what you can do is find a way to mitigate it and or develop a new belief that may have a counterbalancing effect. Let me give you an example. So let's say that you grew up to believe that people simply don't talk about money, which is very common in our society. It is very hard for you in sales to then be able to to discuss money in your selling conversations. And that belief may always be there. But if you develop the skill set of being able to learn how to ask certain questions related to money, then there is a great possibility that the more times you do that, the less effect your limiting belief may have. Okay? So, my goal in giving these video trainings or video talks is to give you some snippets to help you overcome some of the challenges that might be getting in the way of you achieving your sales potential. And the talk today was strictly about how limiting beliefs impact your ability to be much more effective in sales and how you can begin to address it in such a way that that limiting belief has over time becomes a mitigating factor or it's completely eliminated. So until the next time, happy selling.